from town to town with a horse trailer dragging behind. Just a cowboy lost in a modern world. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Not a day goes by, don't think about how my life used to be. Now I'm out of my prime and I'm losing time, and nobody's calling for me. They used to call my name come roundup time. Now the four-wheelers takes my place, and the cowboy life that I've always loved is getting lost without a trace. But I won't give up and I won't give in. I'm a cowboy till I die. And I know there's got to be a place for me underneath big western sky. Headed out west, gonna do my best to leave the civilized world behind. Just me, my saddle, and an honest horse will try to go back in time, where surely there'd be a warm campfire or a bunkhouse calling my name. But tonight I'll sleep in my pickup truck, 'cause I'm still not playing their game. The world may turn, but the thing they can't change is the way I feel inside. A prairie fire may burn itself out, but you can't snuff a cowboy's pride. I'll be what I am and I'll do what I do. This life is worth fighting for. Yeah, the cowboy life is a life for me and 10,000 more. The cowboy life is a life for me.
Welcome back to the Horsemanship. We're back over here at Wolf Drop Ranch. What I've been working on with Bandit here is getting them to trot. I mean, get them to walk. Trotting is no problem. So last time I rode him, he did real good. So we're going to go through the basics. What I done, it's pretty simple. I just get in there and flex them and move that hip or whatever when it starts trying to trot. Now I'm going to do all this on a loose rein, because I can get him in the frame and keep him at a walk, but I want him to walk on a loose line. Now on horses that likes to trot, and if you're working in an arena or whatever, don't think about riding on the rail. Think about what you're trying to work on. As soon as I do a little bit of walking here, we'll get into it. We're going to have to make believe. You get my age, you start making believe a lot. So let's say he tries to trot, I'm going to listen to him, his body. I'm going to try to correct him before he would go into a trot. And all I do is just flex him, move that hip a little bit. I feel him relax, then we wander off again. If he tries to try to get right there, he did. So we just flex them. Don't do a one rein stop. I want him to get relaxed. And you're not really wasting time. Now I try not to get hung up so much on doing one side all the time. Good boy. I mean, it's been this looks simple and looks like David, he's doing real good right now. Well, it took a while. But the key thing is don't give up. Like I said, every time if people try going a trot, and I'll put the reason I want to put my leg on him, because I want him to move that hip, but not to try to go into a trot. I don't want him to think every time I put a little bit of leg on him, he's got to go in a trot. Right there, I asked for it. And I squeeze with my knees. You know, it's one of the most asked questions, how to get my horse to slow down. You know, every horse takes longer. Some horses don't take quite as long. But also, you got to think about how you're riding. Are you squeezing them way too much? Because you're tense. Right there. Now right there, he went trot on his own. As soon as I picked up that rein, he corrected himself, and that's what I'm looking for. And like I said earlier, I want to do all this on a loose line. Now I'm going to squeeze, ask for a trot. I want him to go with that feel. And that's one of the things, like I said earlier, you're not losing ground because you're going to end up teaching them to get softer and go with that feel. You know, you got to realize one, every time you get on a horse, you're training it no matter what. And number two, training a horse not necessarily, it boils down to teaching them how to move that front end and the hip. I mean, it's all aspects. With him wanting to trot all the time, number one, that could be many reasons. Could be the way he's getting ridden. Not saying this was the case. It could be his personality. It could be how he handles pressure. But you always hear me talk about controlling their feet. Right there, he tried to trot. I'm going to pick up, put a little leg on him, move that hip a little bit. When I feel his body relax, then we walk out. Now, you ask yourself, how do I know when to do that? Trust your body, trust your instincts. Don't second guess yourself. I'd rather see somebody let them out a little bit too soon and then go back and do a exercise than miss their opportunity to reward them. I mean, let's just get him to walk. Seems like it's a boring objective, which is not that exciting. But it's important. I mean, it's one of the most important things. Because how can you enjoy riding your horse if all it wants to do is trot or now while we're doing this, go a little bit on hand position. This is how your hands can control the body. If I pick up here, I'm going to move that front end. But if I pull back to that hip, I'm going to move that hip. I'll do it once again. Let's see, if I pull here, move that hip, I'll pick up. I'll move that shoulder. Now what I've been doing with him, there's an old saying, higher the hands, higher the head of the horse. But I like to get them where no matter where my hand position is, they get in frame like that. They get on the vertical. You just wait on it. He does the right thing. He takes all that pressure off. And right there, I'm making him be responsible for his own actions also. Because he's at the point he should be giving it to me, not me giving it to him. In other words, if I ask for the vertical, I expect him to give it to me. Instead of like right now, when you first start him, I give it back to him. But now he's at the point that, good boy, now he should give it to me. Now one thing I do want to say while I'm doing the flexing, it's just my personal opinion, but you see one guy he'll flex his horse and keeps driving it forward. I'm sorry, if I touch that bit, and I flex him, I want him to go with that feel. I don't want him to think he can drive forward. I don't want to teach him that, hey buddy, you're flexed, but you can run like hell straight. Because that gets you in trouble. Like I said, we was going to work on cantle work today, but since we didn't film last time, because of my screw up, you know, Ray's got these little obstacles in here. So I'm just going to make use of them. I can tell you with Bandit, I don't want to do a pattern. The reason being, Bandit picks that pattern up real quick. The other day I was doing rope backs on the rail, and after 2 of them, he thought that's what he was supposed to be doing. Is I gotta set Bandit up and Ray while he's riding, or anybody get on him and just have a nice relaxing ride. And I know a lot of people, they think Andalusians are what we call forward moving, but they don't have to be crazy. You should be able to sit on them just like this, ride loose. I mean, every time I do it, the other day he did real good. Today he's doing excellent. But, you know, Arabs are a good example. Cindy used to, when we first got together, she thought Arabs are crazy. And because all she saw was these hot Arabs, so I could see why she thought they were. But then she saw me train a bunch of them, and she see them walking around like this, and she said, well, they're not that bad. I said, no, they're not. They're a good little horse. But, like, you know, I want to, ideally, you want to be able to ride that horse however you want to set them up. Like right now I'm riding loose. I'm going to have to go back and work on his vertical again because I've been riding him loose. So I'll just grab his mouth a little bit. Bandit's type of horse, you know, sometimes going backwards a little bit helps. But if you try to really get him up in frame by using a martingale or whatever, you're going to get in trouble at some point. Because he's going to learn to resent that bit. You know, he doesn't resent it because he'll put, good boy. Right there I squeezed for a trot. He didn't go into it. But you heard me say good boy. I took it. Because I've been trying, you know, get him where he's not super reactive for the trot. There we go. Good boy. There he put his nose up a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's one thing, doing them little circles. If you watch him at times, he'll get on the vertical. And that's a nice way to get a good start on him. Because he does it nice, you know, for the stop, his back. Good boy. Right there, he went into the trot without me asking. I just picked up and he transitioned down. Because my body didn't tell him to trot. No. That's why I said Bandit's too smart for his own good. Usually right about there when I'll start asking for a lope, going that direction. And he thought that's where we was heading up to. And that's another thing, I'm glad he did that. You know, when you're working a horse, you find them start anticipating what you're fixing to do, like him wanting to go into lope then. That tells me, no, we shouldn't be going in a lope. Because I didn't ask for it. Because if I went ahead and took advantage of it and went into a lope, he's probably going to do it again. And this, you know, right now I probably got him down where he's trotting, but then I'm gonna have to work on getting him slow down at, you know, not loping off. And I tell you what, dumb horses are a lot easier to train. Bandit here, he's, but it doesn't make him a bad horse. Matter of fact, I like him like that. Because 4 years down the road, somebody's got the patience and realize he's going to have his little quirks some days. He'll end up being a super horse. I mean, that's one thing I can say. Ray sold me on these Andalusians, where I used to didn't like at all, I'll be honest with you. But I've ridden enough of his and worked enough of his, especially the way he breeds. If somebody buys Bandit, he can take it anywhere. You know, sure, he don't have the big bone to run a heavy cross-country course, but he's athletic, so that means He'd be able to do dressage. He'd be able to do reining. He'd be able to do, you know, jumping. Be able to do whatever you would train him to do. But all race horses are like that. I mean, he had one, he had such a natural stop. I think we got film on him someplace. I mean, he had such a natural stop, a quarter horse person would die for their horse to have a natural stop like that. And I think the woman's doing dressage with him now, isn't she, Ray? And now the woman's doing, you know, me, I would have just made a reining horse out of it. But the gal got him for, and she does dressage. And she's doing pretty good, isn't she?
Level 3.
Ray say. But, so, and I think Ray, that's one thing I can say about him. He pretty well keeps tabs of the horses himself. I don't think he'd be a nuisance about it, but he just likes to know how they're going. So I think that's a good place to stop today. He's doing so damn good. What do you think, Raymond?
Yeah, it looks good.
So, like I said, Bandit's a good horse. I mean, if I was looking for a horse to do different things like dressage and all, I'd say the heck with the warm bloods, because these Andalusians, you got a lot of front end action. Of course, all of them, it depends on how that shoulder's built, but you got it there. And what I'm finding out, they're a lot easier to train than what I thought they were. And I think Bandit wasn't his, because didn't have no saddle time on him. He had a buck on him one day, but it wasn't that bad. But I'm riding like this because he's doing good and caught me off guard. That was embarrassing, but it happens. That was a good session. Now, that's the problem I run into, because right now I love to go ahead and push him into a lope and all, but with him going into that lope, trying to go in that lope on his own, that told me, nope, just stay what your program is right now, and next time you ride him, go into a lope. But I'm tickled with him. You don't know how long I've been doing them little circles with him to get him to slow down. I was talking to Cindy about it when I first started doing it. I said, God, Bandit all of a sudden wants to trot. I said, yep, and you start putting little circles on him. So I laughed, because she knew exactly what I was going to do. But Bandit's a good horse. Well, with that said, as I always say, be true to the horse, they'll be true to you. And next one, 2 videos, probably on Back and Smoking Lady and a driving video again. So y'all take care, and like I said, be true to yourself also. God bless you.